Huge fight coming up on Saturday. You can watch the Kentucky Derby and then tune into pay-per-view to watch Sugar Shane Mosley and Floyd Money Mayweather. Hey, how are you folks? Jason Horowitz, glad to be with you here on CBSSports.com. And lucky enough to have the voice of HBO Boxing and HBO pay-per-view joining us here on CBSSports.com. Jim Lampley, a man who's been calling fights for the better part of a quarter century. And Jim, let's just start with this. It's not it's not Pacquiao Mayweather. But what does this fight mean for boxing?
Well, on most pound-for-pound ranking lists, including ESPN.com and Ring, which I regard as the most credible current pound-for-pound ranking lists, it's Mayweather number 2 behind Pacquiao and Mosley number 3. So you're still talking about 2 of the top 3 fighters in the world, according to most estimates. And Shane Mosley is a legitimate welterweight champion, has been on and off ever since 1999, 2000, along in there. Surefire Hall of Fame fighter, bigger, arguably stronger than Floyd Mayweather, and I think you can make an extremely strong case that despite the fact that he's 38, 39 years old and hasn't been in the ring for 15 months, Shane Mosley is the most formidable opponent of Floyd Mayweather's career so far.
January 2009, his last fight against Margarito when he pounded him into submission at the knockout. Jim, let me ask you this. How far will this fight go for either of these fighters into finishing off their legacies?
Well, for Shane, this is a fight that he has chased for a long time. It's the big wish fight of his career at this point, along with a possible matchup against Pacquiao. That was what was left for Shane and what he was looking for after destroying Margarito, and he got the fight, despite the that it wasn't Mayweather's intention to be fighting Shane Mosley at this point. And so, he's both tremendously fortunate to be in this position. He's making up for a lot of money that he denied himself via questionable business decisions over the years. This operates on a lot of levels for Shane Mosley. For Mayweather, I'm sure that Floyd sees this as yet another clinical exercise in his control over the sport. A chance once again to demonstrate that he can dismantle an offensive fighter with his great defensive skills. A chance to shut the mouths of a lot of ringside critics who have railed at him for the past 2 or 3 years for not fighting a legitimate welterweight championship-style fighter once he had gotten to the welterweight division. No fight against Cotto, no fight against Margarito, no fight against Mosley up until now. It's a chance to button a few more lips and further elevate his status. And it's also a real chance to prove his pay-per-view muscle, because this time he's not borrowing the power of a Ricky Hatton or an Oscar De La Hoya to create a massive pay-per-view attraction. He's the straw that stirs the drink this time. Floyd, despite his long career and his Hall of Fame credentials, has never excited the passion of a large, ardent following. Mayweather has that now. Let's see how big he can make it grow in a situation like this.
And he's very apt at telling you that he has the largest pay-per-view event in history. One of your broadcast partners this week, Emmanuel Stewart, told the Detroit Free Press that he thinks that Mosley will be able to get Mayweather out of his comfort zone and make it a different fight than Floyd is used to. Would you agree with that?
Well, I love Emmanuel. He loves a competitive fight. I do agree that Shane Mosley has more capacity to make Floyd Mayweather fight than any opponent he has faced so far. The problem, the difficulty here is that a logical attack against Mayweather starts with a jab. Shane has never had a really great range-extending, knock-you-back jab. I mean, even his compatriot Oscar De La Hoya had a better jab than Shane has had. He's better with his right hand, either swinging it around and sweeping from the side or over the top. And in the lightweight division, he terrorized opponents with a terrific left hook.
Jim, I know you're calling the fight, and obviously nobody has beaten Floyd Mayweather in his career, undefeated. But if you can pick a winner, and if not, what will it take for Mosley to become the first person to ever beat Mayweather?
I'm a generalist in picking Floyd Mayweather fights, and I've said this many times in many forums. Floyd Mayweather by unanimous decision against anyone alive until proven otherwise. I've seen the way he fights. I know what his risk and reward ratio is. And I know that he has the giant competitive advantage shared with Bernard Hopkins in Hopkins' prime of not caring whether the crowd is entertained. If you're willing to allow the crowd to, sit in their seats uncomfortably for a while, maybe even boo just a little bit because they're not thrilled with the nature of the combat, then you have an even better chance to win the fight. Floyd Mayweather has never worried about whether the crowd was entertained. That's one of the reasons that he's really never been threatened badly with defeat in the ring.
Well, you'll be ringside Saturday night. We look forward to seeing this fight that has long been in the making, and look forward to seeing the outcome. Jim, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
My privilege. Talk to you later.
All right, folks. The voice of HBO boxing, Jim Lampley, joining us here. Shane Mosley and Floyd Mayweather, two completely opposite, both in for their fighting styles and of course their personalities as well. It's all part of the buildup that leads to Saturday night from Las Vegas. For Jim Lampley, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.